But why, Buzz? I can't put my finger on why she seems so cold. She's not the first woman by a long shot that we've seen charged with murder on Court TV. What is it about her appearance that gives her that cold demeanor?
I don't have any problem seeing this very tiny woman committing murder. She may be tiny, but she comes across very mighty, especially if there's some kind of internal rage going, and that explodes on her husband. I could see her shooting him, drugging him, and chopping him up and throwing him over the bridge.
You watch too much Court TV. That's your problem.
Rosie O'Donnell is back in the news, revealing that she actually broke her own bones when she was a child. This claim by Rosie certainly caught our attention, and we are joined now by Dr. J. Buzz Van Ornsteiner, a psychologist, to help us understand this. Doctor, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, I think this is a pretty shocking revelation. Why would somebody break their own bones as a child?
Well, it's very sad. It's also seeking attention for all the wrong reasons, but her mother died at age 10, so my heart goes out for her there. I know she's a bully, I know she has a big mouth, I know she doesn't show any restraint, but we often find with kind of a bully mentality that people are seeking attention, negative or positive. They don't really care how they get the attention, so by breaking her own bones, she's at least showing, hey, I'm valued in this world. Help me, I'm hurt. I may be hurt externally, but I'm also suffering internally. There's a lot of internal emotions she can't show normally or naturally because she feels she doesn't have the support services. So she seeks attention, she seeks love, kind of in all the wrong ways by breaking her own bones. If we believe this, and if it is true, hey, I'm sorry. My heart does go out for her, but it's no excuse for abuse. If you have an abusive personality, if you pick on people, if you bait people and you try to hurt them by your words, there's no excuse for verbal abuse. She's got to see a therapist.
Let me just read you a little bit of what she says. She says, she's talking about how her celebrity became so big. Okay. She says, it's a shift that happens in the head that very few celebrities will ever really speak about. One begins to believe in the specialness, and a dangerous sense of entitlement takes over. What a difference, or is it, from the young child who thought she didn't matter to the point where she had to break her own bones to get attention?
Well, it's a real flip, but it still seems to have the undercurrents of a kind of self-absorbed person. She's not really thinking about other people. She's not really thinking about other people when she was a child. It may be a situation of personality and temperament combined. You know, it's taken a long time for Rosie O'Donnell to get this way. She started as a child, her mother died. If it's true and she hurt herself by breaking her bones, seeking attention that way, it's not that much of a stretch that now she's an adult. She has this sense of entitlement. She's almost shows no restraint, and we give sometimes celebrities an awful lot of power.
And still needing, I guess, the attention that comes with her kind of celebrity. Anyway, very interesting, Dr. J. Buzz Van Ornsteiner. Thank you so much for your insights on it.
Thank you for having me.
What a story. Let's try and break this down for you now. Joining us, Court TV anchor Lisa Bloom and J. Buzz Van Ornsteiner. You are a forensic psychologist, right?
Yes.
That means that you would be able to judge someone's personality after looking at them. So let's do this. I want to break down a couple of videos for you. These are the ones that we've seen of them so far, especially her, Kate. Let's start with this one. Will, if you would. This is Kate talking about her daughter not being scared. Go ahead and play that.
Please, please do not hurt her. Please don't scare her. Please tell us where to find her. Or put her in a place of safety and let somebody know where she is. We beg you to let Madeleine come home.
This is a woman who I believe is full of grief, and she's highly emotional. She's trying to keep those emotions in check, because if she shows too much emotion, she will decompensate. I know that's hard for people to believe, because if our children had been taken, we'd be up there screaming and yelling. We'd be hyper-vigilant. We'd want to try to connect with people. We'd try to connect with the kidnappers. But this is a woman with that stiff upper lip who hasn't slept, hasn't ate, and grief is highly individual. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Well, let me tell you this. If someone asked myself, or perhaps somebody else in our audience who's listening to this right now, whether they had done something or whether there's any evidence having to do with the death of their son or daughter, like forensic evidence in the next example that I'm going to show you, I would think the answer would be a little more direct, almost like outrage, like, hell no, I would never do something like that. But look at how he reacts when he's asked this question. Go ahead, Will, go with this one now.
Can't comment on any specifics in forensics, and we wouldn't do that. We would never, ever jeopardise the investigation. And
he almost seems detached, Doctor.
That detachment could be based on just trying to keep some emotional control in your life, because you're not going to lose it. You want to show that you're emotionally calm. If you do connect, if you do show any emotion, you're afraid of cracking. You're afraid of completely decompensating. You don't want that. You want to be there for your child. I hear what you're saying. Believe me, people expect people to cry and scream.
Especially the eyes. I hear other forensic psychologists, and including yourself in certain circumstances, say if you watch somebody's eyes and they're looking and darting all over the room, there's usually something there.
We expect people to act logically and reasonably when faced with these stressful, horrific situations, but people just always don't follow and go by the book. People are individual, grief is individual, depression is individual, and when these horrific crimes happen to people, people just don't always follow and go by the book. We want to see that. We want to see grief. We want to see people emotionally and volatile. But in this situation, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Because there's so many things, so many other things that are going on at the time. We thank you both, Lisa Bloom and J. Buzz von Ornsteiner. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
She didn't know him. She didn't even know who he was. In fact, she thought he was a woman. She referred to him as Miss Spector.
Oops.
You know, so if anything, that probably clicked something in her, and he wanted to pursue her, because sometimes that can make men all the more aggressive when a female is disinterested. But she left with him based on a hope, I am sure. And that kind of hopefulness is just not indicative of suicide.
Dr. Buzz, look at the totality of the circumstances
here. She's dressed for sex?
The way she's dressed, the candlelight, she's in the castle, wee hours of the morning.
Well, it bemoans...
We know what's on his mind, right?
Yes, that's the point, is he was very persistent. He also needed help getting down the stairs from the restaurant, so she was helping him. She had also been told to help this guy because he's very famous, so she was helping Phil Spector get down the steps with his Cuban heel, so he's having problems get down the steps, and she was helping him because he clearly was intoxicated. When they got in the car, he was very persistent, and he wanted her to come back with him. So she said, okay, one drink. He had left a $450 tip for the waiter staff. Hollywood logic would tell her, hey, maybe this guy can help me. But it wasn't necessarily sexual in her intent. He had sexual intent. I clearly think so. The Viagra
I bet the castle on that.
Right. The Viagra certainly helps that. Alcohol certainly doesn't enhance sexual performance. He also was on medication which can inhibit erections and ejaculation. So he had a combination of alcohol, medication, and Viagra, a deadly combination.
All right, well, that might be a little too much information for me.
Okay, sorry, Lisa.
I know,
you're a doctor.
I know. Dr. And thanks also to Dr. J. Buzz von Ornsteiner.